Hey guys, Zaxelus here, and this is Butch. We have got an incredible, dare I say epic, mod showcase today. We're going to review one of my favorite mods. It adds things that'll add a little bit of life and content to your villages and your regular gameplay. I love it. This mod is so epic that they had to split it into two mods. Now I'll have to find for you which features are in which mod, but we're going to review it all together and you're going to see everything today. Alright? You ready, Butch? Let's go. Alright guys, here we are with the graves. Now the standard feature of this is to help a player retain his items when he dies. And you can have several different kind of graves, and we're going to go over those. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to demo for you exactly how it works. So you have a look at my inventory here. As you can see, I got some armor in there and some swords and some standard items. Now, if I just go ahead and whack kill, there we go. You can see already there's a gravestone there. So now we go back over here. We'll grab my experience. When you right click it, it'll tell you what killed you. In special cases, you may get a different gravestone depending on how you died, and it'll tell you different things depending on what killed you. If you left click it, then there's all your stuff. See? You just walk through, you grab all your stuff. Now, what if you want to go ahead and keep the gravestone and not destroy it once you grab all your stuff? Well, we'll just toss out this iron shovel here. There we go. And I'm going to show you exactly how that's done. Let's whack kill again. All right, there we go. Respawn. And here we are. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pick up that shovel first. Because if you've got a shovel on you and you right-click it, it'll let you get all your stuff back. And what it'll do, it'll keep the gravestone marker there. And there you go, see? Now, these are the standard player gravestones, and I've put a few in here made of different materials. And it's random which one it's normally going to generate. And we'll show you some pictures of the different kinds of standard player gravestones you can get. As you can see, there is quite a bit of variety. There's all sorts of materials made of different kinds of things, different shapes. There's a couple special features for your gravestones. If you got a flower and you right-click the gravestone with it, and it'll plant the flower for you. Also, you can make the tombstones mossy just by right-clicking on them with some vines in your hand. See there? These are the special player gravestones. Now, they can be made by explosion, starving, withering, and there's a 25% chance you'll get a sword. Now, some of those swords that are used as your gravestone will have better material maybe than the sword you're using, or it could be like this sword right here, which is a diamond sword. And if you harvest that to grab all your stuff, you get the sword as well as all your stuff. Now, in this case, this particular sword, as you can see here, is a diamond sword with sharpness. And that probably would have been better than what I was already carrying, okay? So if you're killed by withering, you get the withered corpse. And then if you die of starvation, you get this starved corpse as your gravestone. And so if you get blown up, then you get this charged creeper gravestone here. And this particular one's made out of emerald, but they can be of any different colors. Now, villagers and pets can produce gravestones too when they pass away. And here's some examples of that. Here's your villager, and then you got your horse and your dog, and here's cat as well. And there's a lot of different varieties of those too. We'll show you a selection of those. Here's the villagers and the horses and the dogs, and finally the cats. Other objects in the game that this mod puts in are memorials. And as you can see, there's a pretty good variety of memorials. Now you'll find these sometimes in the village, sometimes out in the wild. And they're made of several different kinds of materials. And you can see there's all kinds here. These are just some that I generated, but let's show you some in the wild. What I've done is I've gone out hunting in the wild to find different kinds that I could show you guys. So we're going to hop around and look at a couple of the ones I found. Here's one of the graves I found. It's got an obelisk and some bones down in there. So we'll go ahead and deconstruct it with a pick and see what we get. You can see there I got some bone and some rotten flesh and some gunpowder. And of course you get the obelisk too in case you want to decorate it someplace. Now, as for the bones, you got to be careful because a lot of the time these spawn some critters. So let's see what we got here. That's just bones, and that's just bones. Well, that's just fine. Here's a dog memorial I found out in the wild that spawned randomly, and they could just spawn anywhere, as you can see. Here's an ebony memorial to one of the villagers. Let's see what happened to him. Terrence was burnt to a crisp while fighting silverfish. Poor Terrence. Now here is a diamond gravestone of a villager that I found out in the wild. And I was saving this so I could show you guys what's in it, because I don't know. So we're going to mine it. Now with these gravestones, unlike the memorials, you get a little something when you find them. So let's see what it is here. We're going to go ahead and mine it. Alright, let's see what we got here. I got another diamond pickaxe, some lapis lazuli, skeleton skull, some bone, and some rotten flesh, and of course the villager statue. Now I'm curious, if we replant that villager statue and then we mine it again, does it give us stuff? No, it just gives us the statue. Well, it was worth a try. Here's a memorial that spawned out in the wild. Big as you please. You can just see how it's out here. These are really neat because they add a little bit of features to your game, a little bit of extra color, and really add something to the game. I like them. Here's a cross that was a memorial spawned in one of these villages out here in the wild. Now, here's another diamond gravestone that spawned out in the wild. And let's see what this one's got. This is really neat because you could be out there adventuring and you run across one of these old gravestones and you dig it up and see what kind of treasure you can get. Really adds some spice to the game. I like it. Look at that. 2 emeralds, a diamond pickaxe, some iron bars, rotten meat, zombie head, and of course the headstone. That's great. Here's a sword grave that I found out in the wild. It spawned near the catacombs, which we're going to show you in just a little bit here. And the one thing that's unique about this grave is when we mine the headstone, we're going to get the sword too. So I've been saving this one for you guys. I don't know what we're going to get, but let's try it out here. Look at that. We got some leather, and we got the sword. There's the sword. There's a stone sword, it looks like. And some leather armor and a bow, and then, of course, some bone and some rotten flesh. A pretty good haul for just free stuff and not having to do anything. Now, this model also spawns structures in the village, and this is the Undertaker's house. And as you can see, it will have a little graveyard in the back here. Now, these graves are all mineable, so when you drop by a village and it's got a graveyard like this, you're in for some good stuff, especially when you see the diamond headstones and the gold headstones and the emerald ones. So let's just start right in with this one right here and see what we get. Alright, we got a gold shovel. The headstone, of course, bones and rotten flesh, standard. And we got another iron pickaxe and an axe. And we got the villager corpse. Now we're going to talk about what you can do with those here in just a little bit. So we'll set that aside for now. And let's do some of these others. Look at all that. We got a diamond pickaxe again. And a gold shovel again. And a skull. Boy, these are just a haul of tools and miscellaneous stuff you can get. Now let's try the emerald one. See what we get with the emerald one. There's a spawn egg. I didn't know you could get a spawn egg in some books. There's another spawn egg. We got a horse spawn egg. And some zombie head. Golden shovel. Diamond axe. So that's the kind of stuff you can get out of the graveyard. Now, at nighttime, there's a little surprise, because as long as there's a headstone, it'll spawn some critters, and we're going to show you that as well. Now, sometimes just a graveyard spawns in a village, and I'll take you to one of those and we'll have a look. So if you enable it in the config, this cemetery can spawn in a village by itself. Now, come nighttime, each one of these headstones will produce a bad guy. Let me show you. So once nighttime starts to come around, you're going to see a bunch of mobs pop up in this graveyard. Boom! There they are. This is the Undertaker, and this is the village mob that the mod adds to the game. And he's got some special trades for you. I got some emeralds here, so we're going to click on him and just see what he's got. So that's a horrible deal right there. He should be ashamed of himself. Let's see. All right, so let's buy that and see if we can enable another trade. And we'll see here. There we go. I see some green sparklies, so we should have a better trade here. Let's see what else. Nope, that's a... so now he's... Okay, well, that's not much of a better trade. I don't really need that, but okay. Alright, well, we'll enable the next trade. Let's see what else he's got here. Wait for some green sparklies. There they are. Okay. And what's next here? Well, yeah. Regular Steve head. Alright. So we gotta buy that too. Let's see what we got here. Okay, and the next trade. Alright. Oh. Well, you could get the creeper head now. Everybody loves that. That's a good one. Alright. And what's next? Now we're at the wither. Now this could come in handy. So you work your way up. You get your wither. And I think that's the last of his trades, it looks like there. Now, one of the things I noticed is that the Undertaker has a side hobby. He tends to love to garden. You see the other Undertaker in the village over here is doing the same thing. I guess being an Undertaker, you got a lot of time on your hands. Generally, I find the Undertaker either hanging out in his office or here in the garden. So this mod also has some medieval devices here. So as you can see, it provides you several different ways to dispose of your zombies here. And this way you get rid of your zombies, see? Let's say the village you've been building is attacked by zombies and they kill off a bunch of your villagers. Well, those villagers will leave gravestones, and when you mine the gravestones, you probably get a villager corpse. What you do is you build this altar here, and that can be made with a diamond, nightstone, and some skeleton skulls and bone blocks. And the bone blocks, as you can see, are made from piles of bones that you get out of the catacombs or different areas. So what you do is you take that villager corpse and you right click the altar, you put the villager in there, and now he's up there. So it costs 20 levels to resurrect. You hit resurrect and pay 20 levels and off he goes. Just like that. That way you can restock your villagers when the Zergan zombies come and kill off a bunch of your villagers. Okay, now like we talked about before, wherever there's a headstone, when nightfall happens, the spawning happens of the creepy crawlies. This mod adds quite a few skeletons and zombies and different critters. Let's go ahead and have a look at those. So here we've got all the headstones that we reviewed before. Let's go ahead and bring it on to nightfall and see what happens. As you can see, they start spawning. Now they're not going to stop spawning either. It'll spawn quite a few. It doesn't wait for one to die and then spawn another one. We'll watch this for a while and you'll just see how many this starts cranking out here. It can get pretty scary. There's a skeleton dog and a skeleton cat. Wherever there's a headstone, you got to worry about it spawning some creepy crawlies. And you can just see it keeps cranking them out too. Over here we got the skeleton dog and the zombie dog. Now it adds a couple different skeletons to the game. They look really similar except for their upper jaw's a little different. And you can see they have different weapon options. Instead of just carrying a bow like the one in the background here, they can carry swords as well. Since we haven't seen any skeleton horses or zombie horses spawn in, I'll go ahead and spawn a couple of those for us to get a look at. There's your zombie horse. There's your skeleton horse. And then you might find a zombie raider already mounted on the horse there. Or you might find a skeleton raider. Now, some of the particularly scary ones are the little skull crawlers. And they come in the form of a skeleton, a zombie, and a wither skeleton. And I'll spawn all those for you to have a look at. There's a skull one. You can see he just scampers around. There's a zombie one. And there's a wither one. Now the skeleton one, as you may have noticed over here, he went and disguised himself as just a pile of bones. Now if you mine that pile of bones, he'll pop back out. And there he is, and he takes another run. Now they don't have a lot of hit points, but they can get to be pretty scary. Okay guys, here it is. The catacombs. Now this is the upper graveyard area, and the catacombs are the entrance that you see right there. And boy, is it ever elaborate. And scary too. As you can see, there's a ton of gravestones, and you can mine through these and get all the treasure you want. But for the real treasure, you want to go down underneath. Let me show you. We'll go into spectator mode, and we'll do a tour from the outside in. Here we go. We're going to go deep underground, and we're going to get a better idea. Look at this amazing, elaborate dungeon. You can just see it's got multiple layers. There's all sorts of chests and monsters and treasure. Look at this. I'll take us around here. We'll have a look at these different rooms and things that'll spawn monsters, and you see all the chests. Now you'll notice there'll be some treasure rooms that are hidden behind walls, like this one right here. You can see doesn't actually have an entrance. You gotta look around and find all the secret rooms, and then you can get these treasure chests and these big blocks like this one here. Now look at this set of secret rooms. You got lapis on one side, gold on the other, and all sorts of golden gravestones. You can just see how amazing and elaborate this thing is. Hours of adventure, tons of fun. This thing just goes on and on. Now over here, we got a special room. This is what it's all about, see? Right there, that's the wither spawner. You got 1 block of emerald and 8 blocks of diamond. And then there's a portal to the nether right there. Once you make it to this room, it all gets tough. This is just an incredible dungeon that's going to provide you with hours of adventure and fun and tons of treasure. And it's procedurally generated, and more than one can generate in a world, and they'll never be exactly the same. So you can just keep going and going. Okay guys, that is the Gravestone and Gravestone Extended mods. Now the Gravestone mod has all the gravestones for when you die and stuff, and the Gravestone Extended has the dungeons and all that stuff. Now that dungeon's really challenging, and when you go for it, bring friends. And you probably want to wear your best armor and bring your best weapon too, because it is tough. But boy is it fun and rewarding. Thanks for joining me reviewing this awesome mod. If you like what you see, please hit that like and subscribe button and help support my channel. I'd sure appreciate it. And we'll be sure and bring you another mod review, mod showcase, playthrough. And until then, I'm Zaxxilus, this is Butch, and we'll catch you later.